This is the world's fastest production car. It goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.99 seconds. This is the Model S Plaid. We rented it for 1 day on Turo for about $900. In this episode, we'll give you an exterior tour of the 2021 Model S Plaid with a blue exterior and a cream interior. We'll give you an interior tour. We'll look at the screens, we'll look at the yoke driving, we'll look at the console, maybe try out the sound features and gaming. And we'll drive along the streets of San Antonio where we are today on a very windy Wednesday. We'll also try out the Superchargers and share with you our impressions of this amazing vehicle. I've got a couple of friends with us today. They're a bit camera shy, so they will not appear on the episode, but I will talk to them and share their impressions with all of you as well. Click subscribe to stay updated to more videos on Tesla, and let's dive right in. Let's start from the front. You can see a chrome Tesla logo here, a very iconic logo. It looks beautiful. The owner had a zero emissions plate over here. So in many states in the US, you do not need license plate in the front. You just need it behind. That's why sometimes you see cars have this empty. And the blue color that we have here, to me it looks great. It is my favorite color. I want my Teslas to be in blue, but it's not a common color. I would say most of the Teslas are either white, black, or grey, and a couple of red ones. And here, for the Plaid versions, they do have the 21-inch arachnid wheels. The Plaid version comes in a range of 348 miles or 560 kilometers. That is a lot more than Model 3 or Model Y. However, the base Model S with the dual models comes with even more range at 375 miles, 8% more. So you pay a little bit more for performance because of the speed and also the wider tires. There are two configurations of the Model S. This one here, the Model S Plaid, is Tesla's first car with 3 motors. 1 motor in front and 2 motors in the rear, behind. This costs about $145,000 US. You can buy 3 Tesla Model 3s with this. So is it worth 3 Model 3s? Let's find out today. Let's head right behind and check out what's the difference. You notice another difference here is the door handles. They're flush like the other Teslas that you see, but the difference is when you actually turn on the car, the door handles will extend outwards. We'll show you that later as we go inside. As we come to the back, here's the charge port. The charge port is smaller because it uses the US proprietary Tesla plug. When they start producing the Model S Plaid and the Model X in Giga Shanghai, we will have a bigger charge port to accommodate the Type 2 and CCS chargers that's available in the rest of the world. And you know it's a Plaid with the carbon fiber spoilers and the Plaid logo over here. So this is what you get when you buy a Model S Plaid. For the original ones, I believe the first 25 orders, they actually have the actual Plaid design. That's very nice. But those are rare and hard to get. With all Teslas, you've got a classic glass roof all the way on top. So this is the Model S from the outside. Let's head inside right now. You can see the door handle comes up. Just pull it out. This is the front seat of the Model S Plaid. The first thing that greets you is this iconic yoke. It's firm and steady on the hand, feels really good. We'll test out how it handles when we actually drive this later today. Apart from that, you will notice a very unique design on the seats and the interior trim. Look at the stitching, the quality. This is the cream design that you can only get with the Model S or Model X, the refreshed version. You cannot get the cream design on the Model 3 and Model Y. For those, we've got white and black. So very high quality leather. You've got ample space down here, and you see the same trims in front as well with the carbon fiber top. Of course, you're greeted by a classic front console. Every Tesla has it. Big difference here is that on the Model 3 and Model Y, this is 15 inches. On the Model S, this is a slightly larger 17-inch front console. So it's a little bit more space, and it's flush against the front. It doesn't stick out and jut out like the Model 3 or Model Y. So it actually looks really nice. Very nice small touch over here. This screen is powered with so many teraflops that's the same as a PlayStation 5. You can play Witcher 3 and most modern games on this. All you need is a controller, like a PlayStation 5 or Xbox controller, and you can actually play a couple of games in here. So if we get a chance to get a controller later, we'll try it out. And when you try our navigation, so let's click on YouTube and see how fast it loads. Actually turn on Netflix. Probably didn't have YouTube. So you can see it loads actually pretty quickly. It's really smooth compared to the Model 3 and Model Y that we have. And you go in the rest of the menu, you can see all the different common systems here as well. And all the key features are in the car console, where you've got controls, pedal steering, suspension. You can name your Teslas, and the owner gave it the name Blue Demon, which is very apt because this car can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.99 seconds. This is the world's fastest production car. We will put this to the test later in this video. And you can see the charge state right now, the owner has given us a 96% charge. So we are ready to go to enjoy the rest of the day. You've got autopilot features and the rest of the common Tesla features here. What this one doesn't have is full self-driving beta. The owner has put it into the queue, but you've got to wait to get it. So this is highly coveted. You do need a good safety score. I think at least 96 in the US to get full self-driving beta. You'll notice something different here. With the Model S, there is no gear sticks. So your gear selection is actually done on the left side of the console. You move it forward for drive, backwards for reverse, you tap it for park. How do we activate our turn signals? Because there's no stick on the left, the turn signal is actually on the left side of the yoke. You want to turn left, you click on this button, and you see the turn signal over here. You want to turn right, you click on this button, you see the turn signal on the right. You click it again to turn it off. How to turn on the headlights? This button over here, and you see the headlights would activate. Like so. And then turn off. It's right now on auto headlights, you see the A there. That means it'll automatically turn on in low light environments. You've got your horn over here, like so. And if you just mash all the buttons, you should horn as well. So let's say it's an emergency, it horns also. So some people criticize, like, shouldn't the horn be in the center button? I think for future builds, this will be a horn button. Right now, this does nothing. So if you press it down, nothing happens. But if you're in an emergency, you just use your palm, it turns on the horn. This button over here is your voice assistant. Open butthole. You see the charge port open, and we close it. Close butthole. And it is closed. With the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, the hazard lights are on top. But you notice that there's nothing on top here. All you have on top are the front lights, like so. So you can turn off the front lights. The hazard button's actually down here in the middle. This is a touch button. You hold this over here, the hazards come off. You turn it off, it goes off. These here, the P, R, and D are basically the light signals indicate what gear we are at. At the top here, you've got mirror with lights. It's pretty fancy. You can pull this out as well to adjust it. And just clip it back on. It's clip on by magnets. You've got another one here for the front passenger. At the front, you've got two wireless chargers. You just bring your phone up and put them over here, and it starts charging. As you can see, the front seats are really comfortable. It feels really nice. It feels like a sports car, a race car, but this is actually a family sedan. From the outside, it looks like a family car, but the performance beats most supercars in the world. Now, let's check out the back seats. Here are the back seats of the Model S. Very comfy, lots of leg space as you can see over here, and lots of head space as well. With the Model S, you get a nice glass roof, zero interruptions, just like the Model Y, because you've got the pillar on top behind, just like the Model Y. Another thing you'll notice behind is another touchscreen down here. It is not as big as the one in front. The one in front has really great display quality as well, but it is functional. It works even when the car is moving as well. You've got your basic climate controls, you've got your seat heaters, you've got music controls, and you can also watch your Disney Plus or any other apps that you have. Maybe even play games. Because it's a little bit lower, it may be slightly uncomfortable for adults for extended use. But for children, like my 5-year-old daughter, this is a dream come true. she would be happy to spend her entire time in this Tesla. Let's look at this. So it's got a nice screen here. From this viewing vantage, if I'm an adult sitting here and just looking down, I don't think I'll be able to watch a movie for 2 hours looking down like that. I think for someone a little bit lower, that's probably more comfortable. For someone sitting in the middle seat, that may work better as well. Still, this is a very nice screen. You can only find this in the refreshed Model S and X. You will not get this in the Model 3 and Model Y. So these are the small things we pay extra for. Again, this car costs 3 times the Model 3. With this, when you look at the interior, it just feels so much more luxurious. Like the crafting, the stitching is just done so much better. We'll put it to test to see how comfortable this rides. But immediately you can notice the quality difference of the Model S compared to Model 3. Now let's check out the trunk and the frunk. So look at this space, it is wider than a Model 3. I could fit inside. There is extra space down here where you can store your charging cables, accessories, first aid kits. There are buttons here to bring both seats down. So you press this one here and this one here. It unlocks and you just push the seats down like so. That's it. With that, you can see the amount of space you have behind. It's quite significant. Can you do cam mode on this? I wish this was a little bit higher, but it is a sedan. So we go inside. Not as spacious as the Model Y, but still, it's a lot of space. A lot more than the Model 3. Let's take a look at the front of the Model S. So you can see it sits a little bit more forward compared to the Model 3 and the Model Y, because there are a lot more components that comes into powering the Model S sitting over here. Space-wise, looks pretty similar to what you get in the Model 3 and Model Y. So there you go. It's a nice trunk. And I always recommend closing it in 2 palms so it's easier to close. Like so. So with that, you've seen this car from the inside and outside. This car is 7% wider than the Model 3 and 7% longer than the Model 3. It sits at the same height as the Model 3, so this is a pretty big car. Actually, by width and length, it is bigger than the Model Y as well. The Model Y is taller, but that's because it's an SUV. Okay, it's time to ride this car. See you inside. By now, some of you may be wondering, what happened to my Plaid t-shirt? I asked myself the same thing the past few nights. I thought I packed it in our luggage. I'm wearing the Powerwall t-shirt. It's pure energy, like this car. But here's my saving grace. Go Plaid or go home. We're now going to drive for lunch about 2.5 miles away to Whataburger, which is a Texan burger joint. And let's see how the Model S drives. We're now here at Whataburger. Never tried it before. The logo does look a little bit like a Wonder Woman logo. Of course, we're here in Texas. There are going to be a lot of big pickup trucks. Our first meal at Whataburger. So we've got the classic Whataburger here. Fries. Friends ordered salad. These are the chicken strips. Yeah. Enjoying our lunch. We're now in the back seat of the Model S Plaid. Very comfortable. Here in the back seat, we've got a nice glass roof that offers 99.9% UV protection. It is a really sunny, cloudless day in San Antonio. And so far, if you touch it, it is warm to the touch because we parked the car outdoor when we were having lunch earlier at Whataburger. But with climate controls, you can just actually turn down the temperature to what you need it to be before you even step into the car. It consumes a little bit more battery, but that's one of the hidden perks of owning a Tesla. We're now going to showcase the power of the center console of the Model S Plaid, which is powered by an AMD processor with a computing power of 10 teraflops. That's basically a PlayStation 5. We're going to load up YouTube, see how quickly it loads, and test out the sound system by playing a Jurassic Dominion trailer. This car has 22 speakers. Let's listen in. You can see it took us roughly 2 seconds to load YouTube. That was amazing. That was an amazing sound system. How did it feel for you as a rear passenger?
Immersive. Yeah, I would say it's immersive.
It feels like a movie studio.
Yes. Not cinema.
Like a cinema.
Yeah.
It really does. Now we're going to compare the YouTube loading speed on the Model 3 and play the trailer for Jurassic World Dominion to compare the sound system to see what the contrast is versus the Model S Plaid. So we go to Theater, YouTube. So it took about 7 seconds to load YouTube.
I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch.
So that was a demonstration. To me, the loading time was definitely longer. I'll say about 3 to 4 times longer all in to get to the same trailer. Sound quality, the Model S Plaid was more immersive. I felt like I was in a cinema theater, almost like an IMAX theater. For this one, I'd say like you're in a good cinema, but not a great one. So both are really good, but the Model S Plaid, hands down, better. We're now going to try out drag strip mode, where the car will launch at maximum performance. Let me show you how it works. First, in the main console, you click on the car icon, then you click on pedals and steering, and you want to activate drag strip mode. We've just turned it on earlier. When you click on how to launch, it gives you firm instructions. There's 3 steps. Hold the brake pedal with your left foot, then press the accelerator all the way down, and lastly, release the brake pedal, and it just goes. So you can see here on the UI, there is drag strip peak performance rating. So the car is now primed. We're ready to try out drag strip mode, and I'll walk us through the entire steps. So step 1, we are going to step on the brakes. Step 2, we floor the accelerator. You will see Plaid mode coming up in the screen. And everyone else, brace yourself, because step 3, we release the brakes. And here we go! Wow! That was a catapult. How do you feel?
Very chill, very chill.
What's it like compared to the Model 3?
It really feels different. Like this one is more powerful.
This one was a lot more powerful. It just went full on. You felt like your whole body was fighting the seatbelt. It's nothing like it. That's really nothing like it. If the Model 3 performance is a roller coaster, this is Starship. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now that we tried the Plaid acceleration, it's time to check our state of charge. We are at 73%, so I think we're good to go to look for a supercharger. So click on navigate, charging, and we're going to go to the San Antonio supercharger, which is 12 miles away.
Drive east on Bendera Road for 8.8 miles.
So you can see the number in the screen. 4 means there are currently 4 available supercharger stalls. In this supercharger, there are a total of 10 stalls, and the charging fees are 29 cents per kilowatt hour. So it's going to take us about 25 minutes to get there, 17 miles away. Now that I had some time for my heart to come back to my body after the Plaid acceleration, I just want to talk a little bit about how it felt. It felt amazing. Now, is it practical in a small country like Singapore? Hell no. In the US or Malaysia? Probably. Where you got the land, you got the space, you got the tracks to try out the acceleration. That's amazing. Is this car a practical necessity in a road? I don't think so. It's probably for someone who's buying a Porsche or a Lamborghini and you want a nice sedan that can fit the family and actually has supercar performance in a very deceptively simple body. It looks like any normal sedan on the street, but you pit it against a supercar side by side, it's going to win 99% of the time. So that's my take on the acceleration.
Now turn left.
So the Supercharger is just right in front of us. So you see there are 5 stalls here.
Now you have arrived at
And
your
another
destination.
few more stalls up here. So we're going to park next to the Model Y and Model 3 so you get a contrast of all the different shapes. Here we go. As you can see, this is a reverse cam on the Tesla. We're here at the San Antonio Supercharger. Let's charge this car. So unplug it and click on the button. Charge port comes up. Plug it in. You can see the lights are blue. It's syncing. And now with green, it's charging. So it's good to go. And since we're here at the Supercharger, let's do a comparison of all the different Teslas. So let's step back. And as Grace says positions here, you'll see we've got the Model S side by side with the Model 3 and the Model Y. So as you've heard earlier, the Model S is a much bigger car, 7% wider and longer than the Model 3. Same height as the Model 3. You can see the height similar. Of course, the Model Y is taller, but the footprint of both the length and the width is less than the Model S over there. So you have all 3 of them side by side. Model S, Model 3, Model Y. Which would you pick? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm getting the Model Y, but after spending a day with the Model S Plaid, I'm half tempted to order this. Unfortunately for us in Singapore, it's going to take a few years probably to get the Model S, let alone the Model S Plaid to reach our country. And think about the pricing. It's already $145,000 here in the US for the Plaid. In Singapore, I reckon it's probably going to be around 600,000 Singapore dollars, plus minus 50,000. One cool thing about the Model S Plaid that makes it different from the Model 3 and Model Y is the additional information displayed on the driver's console. So if you look at the driver's screen, you would see on the left side, you've got the charge time remaining, which is 30 minutes. And on the right side, you see the Supercharger details. Charging at 57 kilowatts. You've got a charge rate of about 206 miles per hour. As we wait for our car to fully charge, we're going to check out the mall right next to the Supercharger. There is a GameStop. We may get a game controller to try the games on the Model S. I've got a very sexy scene for all of you. Presenting to you, sexy. We've got the Model S in silver. We've got the Model 3 in white, the Model X in black, and the Model Y in silver. The sexiest car show on earth. We just finished supercharging. When we came here, we were at 73% state of charge. We're now at 96% after about 20 minutes. And you can see, we're paying just $7.83. A lot cheaper than fuel. One very cool feature about this car is how well it games. There's a 10 teraflop processing power on the Model S and the refreshed Model X. Now to play video games, you actually need a wired connection to the controller. It doesn't yet support Bluetooth. That may come in the future software update. So I've got a USB-C cable here. It'll be plugged to my Xbox controller on one end. What stumps many new Model S and X users is, where are the front USB-C ports? It's actually underneath this movable cup holder. You push it in and the two USB-C ports reveal themselves. I plug it in, I feel the rumble on the controller, it is connected. We go to arcade and we're going to play Skyforce, which is a pretty graphics intensive shooter game. And let's check out the loading speed as we load this app. So there you go, the game's loaded. I'm going to click start. Look at this game and look at the graphics. Very few cars, let alone old consoles, are going to be able to play this.
Mission begins.
So I'm controlling it with this controller. Here we go.
Human rescued.
And by the way, listen to the sound system on this car.
Weapon upgrade.
Ah,
Game over.
if at first you don't succeed, play more video games until you get better. So that's the console feature on the Model S. What do you find? If you like it, let me know. There's something we noticed after using the Model S Plaid for a couple of hours. Every time we re-enter the car after parking it, the passenger lights over here remain on. And I'm not sure why. So if you know why they turn on, please let me know. Is it a bug? Is it a feature that we're not using correctly? So we've got to manually turn this off here and here. And when we park and come back again, they turn on again. We just spent an entire day with the Model S Plaid, and here's my verdict. I'm going to compare this with the Model 3 because it's a good frame of reference for many Tesla owners. When we look at the quality of the interior and exterior, this is hands down much better. The stitching, the leather, the lack of panel gaps, and just the build and design, amazing. Second, performance. This car is the fastest production car in the world. As you've seen in this episode, there's nothing like it. It goes at rocket speed. It feels like a catapult. I spoke with the driver asking how he felt about it, and it almost feels like our body is trying to move away from the seat. So the acceleration is next level. How it compares to the Model 3, I think this one here, it really feels like raw power. Whereas with the Model 3, it feels more like controlled power. You still feel in control. But with Plaid, especially in the track mode, once you release the brake pedal, you feel a little bit afraid. This car is a little bit dangerous. So it's a magical experience there. Next, we've got range. This car has about 560 kilometers in range. You compare that with the Model 3 Performance, that has roughly about 400 kilometers in range. So this beats it in range as well. Again, this car comes with 3 motors, so it really goes when you need it to go. Many of you may be wondering, what about the yoke versus a round steering wheel? And I've got to say, after speaking to the owner, it's not too hard to adapt to the yoke steering. If you've got certain habits on like hand over hand steering, after 2 to 3 days, you should be good. We did not miss the gear stalks and also the light stalks. In fact, the turn signals using your left thumb on the yoke was a lot more intuitive. Just pressing top, pressing bottom worked really well. And even the autopilot selector, you just click on the knobs and that's it. So yoke, net, I think it works for many people. It may not be for everyone, but we had no problems using it. Lastly, price. Yes, this car is $145,000 US. That's 3 Model 3s. Is this a practical car for day-to-day city use if you are in Singapore or anywhere in Southeast Asia? Not really. You get by fine with a Model 3 or even a Model Y, as you saw earlier in the video. But if you want the best car, if you want the best EV, today, the Model S Plaid is Tesla's flagship car until the Roadster comes out one day. But even then, the Roadster is really meant for 2 people or maximum 4 behind. It's a 2-door car. This car is a great family car if you want something that's extremely luxurious. Would I buy it? I won't. Maybe one day when Tesla stock goes up a bit more, probably in the 10K range. I'm still going to get a Model Y, but this is a very hard no from me. If money was not a concern, I would get this car. I've got to say, one day spending with this car, mind-blowing. So let me know what you think about this short look and experience with the Model S Plaid. If you found this video exhilarating, exciting, and useful, please click the like button. Hit subscribe to stay updated to more videos on Tesla. And I want to thank my wife, Grace, for putting up with all my silly antics, filming these episodes, going through all the crazy acceleration. She's right now just rolling her eyes behind the camera. I also want to thank our two friends who joined us in today's journey, driving us from Austin to San Antonio and back after this. It's been a crazy day. There's an African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you've got to do it with others. I probably misquoted it, but the general idea is there. I'll leave y'all with one final gift.